Hello, my name's Neville Thompson. If you don't know us by now, you certainly will after this is finished. Right. What I'm going to try and do today is I'm going to try and explain what I think's happened to Mars. Why it is the way it is. Because I think it used to be a planet like Earth millions of years ago. But something drastic happened to it millions of years ago, which has made it like it is now. You can see the picture there I've got on the left hand side. This is Mars. You can see the big huge rip that's in the front of it. That's been done by a huge electrical discharge. Some people may think it's been done by lightning, but I think it was done by the Martians themselves. Maybe it's not on purpose, or it could have been on purpose, but we'll just have to see and find out. Right, I'm going to play a little video to begin with. It's from a lightning scarred planet. Harry posted it on Secret Planets. I'm sure you've all seen it. I'd just like to thank Harry for posting it. Thank you, Harry. Right, I'm going to play this clip and then I shall explain what I think caused it. So I'll play the video, Right, okay.
Is it possible to identify the events that shape the surface of the planet Mars? A planet of vast but unrecognized landscapes. Vista after vista, eluding every attempt to explain them. Scientists labor to solve the mysteries through textbook theory. But if, as we have claimed, the cause was electrical, they will never get the expected answers. Many details of a new interpretation come from laboratory experiments with electric discharge. But how far can this new interpretation take us toward an understanding of Martian history? One advantage of the electrical perspective is that its every implication can be tested against massive layers of evidence now available, including wide-ranging experiments with electric arcs. If, as we've proposed, Mars was immersed in hemispheric discharge, the planet can be viewed as a laboratory in space for testing the electrical hypothesis. As seen in lightning displays, electric arcs exhibit dendritic branching, called Lichtenberg patterns. These look very much like the dendritic erosion created by flowing water. And electric arcs exploding across a surface can produce sinuous channels that also resemble fluid erosion. But there are differences. In electric discharge to a solid surface, the electron pathways frequently create dark spotting, or chains of craters, running along the channel floors or close by. The presence of crater concentrations in relation to surface channels offers a fundamental test of the electrical hypothesis. In electric experiments, we also see coronal streamers radiating perpendicularly from the primary discharge channel. Both the cratering and the coronal discharge are keys to a new understanding of the Martian surface. Did electric arcs cut the great channels on Mars? Nergal Vallis is some 3 miles or more in width and 250 miles in length. Yes, it did look like a dry riverbed when first seen by the Mariner 9 mission in 1972. But the original confidence of planetary scientists soon gave way to doubts, then to contradiction. A river can take many twists and turns along its path, but its tributaries will not look like the blunt alcoves of Nergal Vallis. Martian channels exhibit the predictable features of an electric scar. Rotating cylindrical arcs, sputtering along the primary discharge path, produced scalloping of the channel walls, with sharp, angular projections that are inconsistent with fluid flow. The same process left overlapping craters and alcoves that make no sense in terms of familiar erosional patterns. We see virtually identical craters, alcoves, and sharply cut, stubby gouges along Nanitti Vallis. Numerous other Martian rills underscore the same enigma, and the unanswered questions grow year by year.
Right, you watched that about electrical discharges. Now then, I'll try and explain a bit more what I think happened. I believe Mars was a planet like Earth millions of years ago, had oceans, had trees, had plants, just the same. I believe that the people of Mars developed the same way as us, but they developed to a higher technological level than us. They actually found a way of harnessing the power of the sun and storing it up in the ionosphere of the planet. The same as what Tesla was going to do. Tesla was trying to do the same thing here. I mean, Tesla was light years ahead of everybody. He was going to find a way of, he found a way of storing energy from the sun, transmitting it up into the ionosphere of the planet, into the human cavity, which could be drawn upon by everybody, you know. So energy would be free, you know what I mean. But the people who were backing him didn't want this. All that they wanted was to make money, you know, and this wouldn't make money. And then Tesla thought a bit more, and he thought, well, this could be used against people on Earth as well, you know what I mean. It's a weapon, you know what I mean. So I'll play a little video that'll explain this a bit more, what Tesla was going to do, and then I shall explain what I think happened after that. Anyway, here's the video, and I'll try and make the next bit, okay?
In 1899, Tesla moves to Colorado Springs to experiment with terrestrial and atmospheric waves. Out on the prairie, he pursues his passion for discovering sources of free energy, both above and below the surface of the Earth. While investigating a phenomenon known as the Schumann cavity, he develops his theories for tapping limitless sources of power that all people of the world may share.
Surrounding the Earth, there's a cavity that resonates at about 8 cycles per second. And this cavity exists between the Earth we're standing on now and the bottom of the ionosphere, about a 60-kilometer gap. And this three-dimensional resonant cavity, in that cavity, you can transmit power, electromagnetic energy, at 8 hertz with almost no attenuation. The Schumann cavity is pumped or fueled at this time with megawatts of power from the lightning strokes that are occurring many times a second on a worldwide basis.
It's rather like a child who's playing with a tetherball. Tesla was so creative, he envisioned using his power transmitter to spank the ball, put a great big ball of electricity, if by analogy, a pulse of electricity, in the ionosphere, and it would very weakly distribute itself all the way around the world. And when it came around the other side, just at the right moment, he would spank it again with another pulse of electricity, and he'd keep doing this until the accumulated energy was so great that it would be a resource to be pulled back out of the sky by a proper antenna.
Tesla's idea was to be able to provide power equally to all people on Earth. At this time, there are 2 to 3 billion people on this planet that can't go home at night and turn on the lights. We can. The people that can are living in poverty. Tesla saw that there was a division between the have and the have-nots, and he was determined to make electrical power equally available to all people on this planet as a gift.
Tesla develops the technology at Colorado Springs to produce astonishingly high voltages and currents. When the switch is thrown, ghostly sparks dance inside the lab, while on the copper ball atop the antenna, thick blue lightning crackles upward over 100 feet into the sky. Thunderclaps are heard over 15 miles away. It is one of the great inventor's crowning achievements, man-made lightning. Tesla determines that waves of energy in the Earth can be used to transmit power to any point on the globe. In laboratory tests, he successfully demonstrates the illumination of wireless lamps many miles from the laboratory. Tesla, aware of the awesome power this aspect of his discovery might unleash, decides to keep it under wraps. With the success of the Colorado experiments, Tesla moves back to New York City. After courting several financial backers, he is introduced to J.P. Morgan, the infamous banker and international financier. Morgan is convinced by Tesla's promise that he can, quote, build a world broadcasting system that will earn millions. Inspired by the earlier works of genius attributed to Tesla, the business-savvy Morgan invests $150,000. Though he must concede 51% ownership in his radio patents to the fabulously wealthy industrialist, Tesla nevertheless proceeds with his construction of the legendary Wardenclyffe Tower in 1900.
Wardenclyffe Laboratories were built by Tesla to try to prove his dream, his radio transmission of power. First it started off, he told his backers it would be just voice communication, but his real dream was power.
Soon thereafter, with Wardenclyffe in the midst of construction, Tesla receives a report that Guglielmo Marconi has successfully completed a trans-ocean radio transmission. Morgan threatens to pull out. Rather than admit defeat, Tesla expands on his original idea for Wardenclyffe, transforming it into the pilot project for his long-envisioned global power and communications system. Tesla promises Morgan that he can erect a system of towers that will pull down energy from the ionosphere, making it possible to transmit electricity throughout the world without wires. In short, free energy for everyone. Some believe that the Wardenclyffe fiasco was about more than just money. They say Tesla himself scuttled the plant out of fear that in the wrong hands, the potential power generated by Wardenclyffe could bring lasting harm to the people and the planet.
Although Morgan didn't finance the Wardenclyffe Tower at the end, it seems to me the project was not stopped because of money. Tesla stopped it when he realized his ideas might be co-opted and implemented solely for military purposes. That's probably the wisest decision a scientist can make.
And Tesla reveals for the first time in an article published in the New York Times that Wardenclyffe could also be used as a weapon to take down airplanes.
He managed to stop the catastrophe that would be attributed to him, because being able to free and target down 2 billion volts from the ionosphere is sufficient to burn any city on the planet. The effect is stronger than the atomic bomb.
Did Tesla discover the ultimate means of destruction? The answer is still unresolved.
Right, this is where it starts to get interesting. Right, what happens if this really did happen, right? People on Mars develop a system where they can store power around the atmosphere of the planet, use it to power the craft, power cities, use it for everything really, you know what I mean? And they've done this for thousands of years. This is the only source of power that they've got. Free power, why not use it, right? Okay. We've done this for thousands of years, and it backfires on them, or it's been used against them. So what happens is, get this huge bolt of lightning coming down, hitting the planet, scarring it, sends millions of tons of debris up into the atmosphere of the planet, totally surrounds the planet, which turns it into a virtual ice age, doesn't it? All the oceans freeze, all the trees die, all the plants die, can't grow food. In the meantime, you've got stored power that's still left up there, coming down, coming down, hitting the planet, everywhere on the planet. You've got boulders coming down, hitting the planet. This maybe happens for what, hundreds, maybe thousands of years. So, where's the safest place to go? Everybody thought that, okay, they live on the ground because they're scared of getting attacked or hiding from animals or stuff like that. Surely they would have had a system of dealing with this even before this happened, you know. But no, the safest place to go is underground. That's why they've had to go underground, because of this happening. I mean, if it happened here on Earth, that's where we would go underground to live, you know. Right, I hope you've enjoyed my little video, short but sweet. It's my first one. It's a bit rough in edges, some, you know, but hopefully this will be my last one I ever do. Right, okay then. It's nice speaking to you all. I'll see you later. Okay.